Thank you, and oh how they're enjoying it at Parc Scarlets so far, because just before the break with that final Costello penalty, extending that lead, 7-point advantage to take into the second half. A place at a Friday night Challenge Cup semi-final in Dublin is the prize. Lousy gathers, and he has been impressive for the Scarlets so far. No changes to either side at half-time, although quite a few changes within that first half. And Cummings just getting a finger to that, so it doesn't really hinder Scarlets. In fact, we'll give the Scarlets the line out. You think about how important this crowd is today, and so how important the qualification campaign was for the Scarlets, and getting those wins home and away against Bayonne and beating the Cheetahs in Parma and here, and finishing top of their pool as a line out is stolen by Glasgow. So both sides having their struggles at the line out, and there are men over for Glasgow. Tupelo ships it on quickly to Ollie Smith, into Johan Nicholas. There's Darge. Quiet game by his standards, but a real slap of bodies coming together there with Wainwright. Tupelo again, taking it deep and giving it on to Vailanu. Always with the available offload. Cancellieri was on hand. JP Dupria has the height, if not quite the same muscle that Richie Gray has. Out it goes, reaching for it. Ollie Smith, there's the step, and tries to make his way between Roberts and Nicholas. Cummings. There is Vailanu trying to inject a little bit of pace, and we're going to have a check on something. I think that means advantage.
Check something under advantage.
But the referee, Mathieu Reynal, hasn't stuck his arm out. Again, Vailanu with the offload to Tuipulotu. Kyle Steyn, Glasgow going through lots of phases here. Cancellieri upended. And there's a bit of muddled thinking from Horn. Vailanu steps in the accelerator again. JP Dupria again, they're just poking away at the gain line here. Xander Fagerson. It's good work by Carwyn Tuipulotu. There's a big thump by Jack Dempsey there. Sione Tuipulotu and Kyle Steyn. Glasgow are now making ground up to the fringes of the 22. It's hard work as Jamie Batty, the loose head, dips into the challenge. We heard no more of that check from the TMO. JP Dupria is through, and does he have the offload? He does. Cummings is there, and Horn for the line. Can he get it down? He can now try. Well, laboured finish, good defensive effort at the end, but the work was done by JP Dupria and by Cummings. They will have a look, but all the phases that Glasgow went through, this is a hard-earned try if it is. I wonder if that's why we didn't have a check a long time ago.
Okay, but I have no crumbs. Crumbs up, I don't know.
I'm only guessing that the television match official let it goes on saying advantage. You would assume that perhaps the offence was committed by Scarlets, who weren't in possession, but what a start to the second half from Glasgow, keeping the ball under so much pressure. We're going to have a look at the grounding first, I think.
Yeah, he thought Horn was sure to get there. I mean, the break was by JP Dupria.
Yeah, Cummings flooded through really well with George Horn. I'm not sure what they're trying to look for. If it was a late shot from Josh McLeod, perhaps, on Jordan.
I think that was after the initial.
So the try is fine, but they're coming way, way back, because remember that Eric Gozan, the TMO, stepped in and said, check, 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 advantage. So, but Mathieu Reynal couldn't hear it at the time. So he's scampering all the way over to the big screen.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so it's Wainwright on Darge.
Yeah, so the right shoulder of Wainwright does look like it could be some head contact. I mean, I did not see that live at all. That's not going to be the angle. The previous angle was much better.
That was the one we heard We heard a slap, didn't we?
You're right, yeah.
So the crucial thing is, we'll look at this. The try was scored with an advantage, but is there worse news for the Scarlets here?
It's a direct contact.
So we have the eye tackle from 18 red.
Yeah, I tackle of 18 red. But say me if I'm correct, because we don't see it very well on the screen with the sub. He used the arm, right? Did he use the arm for rub the player?
Yes, I will show you again.
Show me again.
So they're finding it difficult to see with the sun glaring on the screen. It's Sam Wainwright on Rory Darge.
And
Yeah,
there is a step inside, right?
There is a step inside, yes.
Okay.
Let me show you the other angle again.
Sam Wainwright's very high though, isn't he? He's always high.
You've seen it a lot better here on TV than Matteo Reynal.
Contact for me.
Yeah, and
Good step
I don't
inside.
see he's not bending up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, he's upright.
My question is, he's not bending up, right?
He's not bent enough.
He's not bending up, but he used the arm and there is a step inside. So I
Yes.
will go for penalty kick and yellow card. Against 18 red.
Advantage and try.
Try, penalty kick and yellow card, right?
Yes.
So it's bad for Scarlets. It could almost have been worse.
Don't bend enough, okay? We use the arm, but shoulder. We've got a contact with that, so it could be yellow card against 18, advantage, and we award a try, okay?
So explain his thinking why that's not a red card.
Well, Matthew Reynal's thinking is because there was a step from George Horn, but I think Sam Wainwright's really lucky there. I think there is direct contact with Rory Darge's head. There's a clear line of sight, and he's always upright. I think he's very lucky that that's not a red card.
I agree. My first thought was red, but the mitigating factor, you said, Chris, was that step inside, which I think he was always going to tackle with his right shoulder anyway. This is just another look at the try. Really good running line from Cummins, then followed up again by Horn. Glasgow really flood those channels on line breaks really well, don't they? Did that in abundance against the Dragons a couple of rounds back. Really clinical finish and attack.
So after all that, it was a try for this man who looks to convert now, George Horn. Well, they started the first half so brightly, Glasgow, and they have done so in the second. Through she goes, and Glasgow are level. A couple of strange things may have saved Sam Wainwright the red there, in that the try was scored. There was so much play between the incident and going back to have a look at it, and then bizarrely the sunshine on the big screen that Mathieu Reynal couldn't quite see.
Yeah, I think for mitigation to apply, there has to be a drastic change either in height or direction from Rory Darge's step. I don't think there was drastic enough. But great start to the second half from Glasgow, similar to how they started the first half. They had to fight through the phases a little bit more direct, getting the support channels through in behind the ball to nullify that jackal threat from the Scarlets, and rewarded with an early try.
So Sam Wainwright is off, pedalling away on the static bike of shame, and Glasgow have the man advantage, but we are all tied up at 14 points apiece. Yeah, Dempsey is so important to Glasgow. He does bring that go forward. Well, Sam Lousy getting all over it there, making a nuisance of himself. And Horn sends it up. And Ken Owens eventually gets it away well to Johnny McNichol, the fullback, racing onto it. Jamie Batty just about showing that he was getting out of the way, but here's an opportunity. Johan Nicholas, well, there's going to be trouble here for Cummings. I think we're going to be down to 14 men apiece. Player falling down, no yellow card, so it's just going to be a penalty advantage to the Scarlets. Carried on now by Steph Evans. Glasgow try and hold him up, but Scarlets have that penalty advantage. They'll come back, and the crowd is going to give voice to its disapproval in a moment when they find out that it's not a card.
I think he might review that if he has a second look. No.
He's not really falling down, is he?
No, he's not falling down. It is high, but I don't think there's a swing. Initially I thought there was more dynamic kind of movement from Scott Cummins, but I think it's probably, on reflection, that's probably fair enough, I think.
I think it's a really good call live for Matteo Reynal. I think the crowd are obviously making it sound worse. Cummings does grimace himself, he's panicked, but he makes that shot, he releases straight away. Yeah. I think that's the right call, penalty only.
Well, so Scarlets will have a chance with their 14 men to nip back into the lead. Glasgow getting ready to make changes in the front row as well, with Johnny Matthews at hooker and Nathan Macbeth, the loose head.
They got a little bit narrow in defence there, Glasgow, and Cancelliere did really well to shoot up in the eye line of the passers and just cut off the options out wide. And as a result, it meant that Scott Cummins was really having to slide hard across the field, that out of position just a little bit, which forced him to throw the high tackle.
Again, taking every moment allowed to him with the sin binning clock ticking down. They give it a bit of a lean, but through it goes again from Sam Costello. He'll smile, his job done. Scarlets back in front. That's exactly what they wanted with the 14 men. And here come the changes for Glasgow as well, as Parker Scarlets watches on in the sunshine. So Batty is off, George Turner is off. There is Johnny Matthews, the man who scored 5 tries in a game. That was against the Dragons, wasn't it? So it was, yeah, first Glasgow player ever to score 5 tries. That's a decent clearing kick as well from the restart.
It's just a complete contrast in the ways they're getting away from their own 5-metre line, isn't it? Not even a phase, not even a breakdown. Costello knows that that's where Glasgow are going to kick. He's going to place himself there and just bash it as long up the touchline and defend from the line out.
Yeah, I agree with that, Chris. Like you said, in contrast, Glasgow go for the kick for compete in their own exit. Scarlets get the ball back. Costello's really impressed me today. I think he's really managed the game really well for a young man.
So there is Johnny Matthews, joint top try scorer in the Challenge Cup this season. Hookers do score a fair amount of tries with the mauls to the line, and he'll be hoping for that. This time it's a maul from the 10-metre line and a little breakaway faction, and here he goes. Well, what a turn of speed, and suddenly Glasgow on the front foot again, set back by Dempsey, and quick ball to Pelotu. That Scarlet's defence was so quickly up, so he takes another route, but Glasgow are threatening again. 15 on 14, Johnny Matthews, a man possessed. Horn comes in, penalty for the Scarlets. You can hear their players saying yes sir to the ref. They thought they had it, and they do.
Yes, McLeod who wins the turnover again. It looks like the ruck has already formed. McDowell looked like he was over the ball. Then McLeod coming after, but he must have beaten him by a fraction. No, he just beats him. I think that's fantastic work for Josh McLeod. I thought he joined the ruck after the Glasgow players supported it, but that's lightning quick. Great turnover.
So heading off is via Fafita. He caught a glimpse of Yeston Rees ready to come on. Fafita, former All Black, is looking a little bit uncertain as he takes his leave. Is that what he did it? Yes. Something in his midriff.
Yeah, he's one of the X-Factor players that the Scarlets have got who can provide something from nothing. That's a blow. That is a really big blow, particularly when the game gets into the depths of the last 10 minutes. If the scoreline's like it is, you want players like Fafita on the field.
So a few instructions being passed on by Dwayne Peel as Costello sends it out, and there'll be a Scarlets line out on the 10-metre line.
Still managing the game with a yellow card as well. They'll take their time coming to this line out. Well, the Scarlets.
They're being summoned in by the ref. They're in no particular hurry. Lousey's just saying, hang on, I'm allowed to walk in at my own pace. Again, the line-outs of the Scarlets going wrong. Matthews, though, under all sorts of pressure. But Glasgow secure it. Darge. Lousey again, getting all over him. Waiting for this one and taking it well, Steph Evans, but then he's hit hard in the tackle. Black jerseys in there, Vailanu, if Glasgow secured it. George Horn complaining that it's being stolen, but it's fine, says the referee, as Carwyn Tuipulotu comes away. Well, penalty this time to Glasgow. He had a long think about that, Mathieu Reynal. You get complaints from both sides. You've got to keep a clear head as a ref.
Oh, you said, Andrew, the first ruck, Vailanu. He came in first with a counter. He gets back on his feet and he gets up again. and wins a jackal turnover for the second time. That's much better kick chase. As Chris has said, the kick to compete tactic that Glasgow have gone for, but it's followed up the kick with a much better chase. Vailanu just gets up from the floor here from his previous counter-ruck, just beats Scarlets to the ball. That's immovable. That's a great position he's got there.
Well, it's a great kick to touch as well from Tom Jordan. Look where they'll have the line out.
Johnny Matthews written all over it, hasn't it? 4 of those tries were from a driving maul against the Dragons. The other one was from halfway, actually.
That's right, a sprint Allendale and taken down by Cummings. So looking for the maul now. You see the backs coming in, Stafford McDowell and Kyle Steyn, and here comes the maul moving from Glasgow again towards that line, over the line try, and who else but the try machine. Johnny Matthews gets over. Again, just it's technique of the maul, the extra weight of the backs coming in as well, and Scarlets are complaining, but Mathieu Reynal happy.
See, Scarlets go up, and they have gone up all this game. If it calls an overthrow, you get a turnover, it's great. If you don't win it, then obviously you've got a couple of players who aren't there to hit that maul initially, and they know this is coming. Glasgow's got 15 maul tries in their last 9 games. Only caveat is 5 of those was in one match, but they do average consistently over 1 a game. So they know it's coming. They decided to go up. That's the only risk you take. If you go up and you don't get it, you're in trouble.
Well, I just have to say, Johnny Matthews, 13 tries in the season, a Glasgow record. So, oh yeah, George Turner does well to keep him out of the side.
We keep saying it. He did it for his club team in Barramure in Scotland as well. A record try scorer, I think, for 2 or 3 seasons in a row. He's a dynamic hooker, and that's all about the basics as well. Really good maul, good timing as to when to break off the maul. He could have gone early.
Well, these kicks could prove very important. Will look to be getting away from him, but it rather weaves its way towards the post and through. So Glasgow move out to a 4-point lead, and they have taken advantage now of that yellow card.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent.